I think the war is preventing human beings to think for themselves. Because one that can think for themselves, they become dangerous. So think about the whole process that you had to go through as an individual up to the age 18. Why is it? Why do they rush? Why is education rushed? As soon as you're able to speak, you are being taught to be a certain way. Right? So think about it. The first 18 years, you're going to be taught everything that you don't even need for the future of your life. And more importantly, you're being taught not to think for yourself. Right? Because your brain is occupied by so much unnecessary information throughout these 18 years. Right? Now, you've been given the choice whether you go to college or whether you join the working world. I mean, even joining college is gonna... It's the same, right? Joining the working world is just gonna be, even more stressful. You can't even quit jobs like that, right? It's like you spend 4 to 6 years additional. But the point is that to think for yourself needs a practice, right? It's a relationship. Everything in life is a relationship. So I've been taught to use my brain for many other things, right? To do my homework, to study, to go home and study more because I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it, but I have to learn to force myself to understand it, right? That's what homework is. You're being taught to tolerate shit that you hate. All right, we go on, continue to use our brain like that. But when are we ever taught to think? How come there was never a class for creative thinking or ideas, natural interest? How come there are no classes like that? Right? So the whole time we've been taught to be separated from who we are, to be alone, to be empty. Just like an animal. You wake up, you rush, you go to school for the first 18 years, you practice that, and then now, right, you can't even stay home. You would willingly go get a job if you're not going to go to college because you'd be bored to be at home. Anything is better to sit alone, which is the most dangerous thing to do. Right? So what is the best things in life are free, right? And that's our mental faculties. But when this mental faculty is not being used properly, there's no benefit. It's actually going to be the enemy, right? Most walk around pissed off because the voice within them is pissed off. Their inner dialogue is not even peaceful. So how can they attract peace from others? Right? So it's just like continuously living your life. That's stressful. But the point is that the way of being so far, how it's been, is preventing us to think for ourselves. There's no practice. So here comes high school graduation. It's like, right? But why? But the point is, now you know, right? The answer can only come when you stay still and learn to think for yourself. And that requires a practice. It's part of a brain that you have not accessed, right? You've only accessed a brain that you forced to study, that you're forced to memorize, right? That you're forced to solve equations, but only in geometry and algebra, right? But they don't tell you you have a relationship with life. And that's the most important relationship a man can have. That is its being. That is my being. That is my nature. Think about it. Think about it. Every one of us went to high school. All of us pretty much carry a high school diploma. But what the fuck do you remember from high school? Tell me one thing. I can't tell you one thing that I don't know, that was useful from my high school education. Why? Because it's a whole bunch of gibberish, right? Like, yeah, I know I need to learn to read, to add, but I would learn that without going to school. I'm supposed to study my interest first. I'm supposed to know my relationship with nature first. Then there's accumulation education, right? That was shared. Then you go and you choose which education that you want to receive and cultivate, right? Based on your interest. When it's based on your interest, then it will help you to excel. But when you're just learning just to learn, it's like, it's just information. And how many of us know? The most that are lost are occupied with a lot more information. The people in my life that I see that are more stressed than me, that are more confused than me, have a lot more information than I. They know exactly what's going on in the world. I don't see the benefit of, I send out peace and light and love as a daily routine. Every time I pray for myself, I pray for the rest of the world, because I know I am part of the world. But I don't see the point of me being educated about the war that's going on in the third world when I have nothing, when in fact there is nothing that I can do to help. Right? But generalize in general, I'm a humanitarian. Yes, I'm responsible to carry out love and light. That's my first responsibility, because that's my respect. That's my thank you to life. But I also have to understand, thoughts become things, and everyone has the right to think, right? So tell me, how is that going to benefit me, knowing what's going on in some country about the war, studying, and I'm sitting here just being stressed, and there isn't anything that I can do for them. There's a reason why I'm not in a position to help, right? There's a reason for that. There's time for everything. Scripture tells you, the greatest philosopher books tells you, there's time for everything. Help only when you are able to. Actually, there's a scripture that says the one that clothes the beggar, like with his last shirt, he's not helping, right? That's actually being hypocrite. That's true. Because now it's just, you just switched spot. Because you just switched spot. The whole point is that one person is going to complain. You just took the complaint. That's all you did. You gave your last t-shirt. Okay, now you're complaining about not having a t-shirt. So you just switched places. You didn't solve anything. And there's a reason why you are in a position not to be able to help. Because you have to help yourself first. It's when you stand on your own with your 2 feet that you're able to help others. But if you can't stand for yourself and you're just leaking everywhere, so you're just draining yourself. So you see how you're not helping? And this is all going to take us back. It's because we are not able to think for ourselves. When you're able to think for yourself, you have a relationship with your life, and life is going to put you in the right direction. If you have a relationship with life, you're living the life that you are meant to be. Doing what you're supposed to be doing. Helping who you're supposed to be helping. Right? But They might just believe that we're responsible for our family, we're responsible for this, for your friend, for your close surroundings. So they make you just, your life is just revolved about just these 6, 7, 8, 10 people in your life, just immediate family, people you went to high school with, just the neighbor, just, nah, man. What's inside of you might be beneficial for a country that you never have been. But how would you know if you don't talk to yourself? It's only that voice that can tell you what you should be doing. Only that voice knows what's right for you. Only that. Only your heart. Only the voice that comes from your heart. Only the love from your heart is the true love. Only the care that comes from your heart is the true care that you should be carrying and that you should care about. Right? My dreams are my responsibility. That's what my responsibility is. The voice in my heart. That's my guidance. Nothing comes before that. Because I have to first live before I'm able to live for others or help others. But to think is to talk to God. And from the moment you arrive, that circuit has been attacked. So you can't think for yourself. So you could just be another slave. So you could just be another social security. Think for yourself. Practice. Talk to yourself. It will always tell you the truth. Always. But with practice though. Because when you out of nowhere, now you're in your 20s and 30s and try to talk to yourself, there's so much in your mind that you have you've accumulated, right? This the voice that comes from your mind. You have to be able to differentiate. Is this my true nature, or is this what I just collected through society, through my environment? Is this truly my belief, or is this just what I've been told and what I see everyone is doing? Right? That's how you're gonna clean up slowly, one by one, until you get to your own clear voice. Connected to that, just directly to your own voice.